Welcome back to Hardball. As the crisis continues in Egypt and may continue on quite a while, if you listen to Dr. Brzezinski, the right wing led by Glenn Beck continues to traffic in conspiracy theories. Why not? They have more to do with scaring this country than getting the truth out of what's happening over there. So what are they up to this time? Well, Eric Ballard is a senior fellow with the Media Matters, and Eugene Robinson's a Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist for the Washington Post. Gentlemen, thank you both for being with us. And I sometimes am not surprised by right or left-wing argument in this country. Sometimes the rhetoric is rather wholesome. Now, catch Glenn Beck on Tuesday night. This diatribe about the caliphate. He starts talking about an ancient Babylon. See if you can follow this. I did. Let's listen.
Iraq is really important, especially to the Shiites, especially to the Twelvers who are in charge of this country right now. Because what is in Iraq? There's one place that we told our bombers not to bomb. Does anybody know what it was? 2 wars in Iraq. We said, no bombing there. Ancient Babylon. Ancient Babylon. Why? Because the Bible tells us that is the seat right here of power of a global evil empire. Well, that's also where the 12th Imam from Iran is supposedly going to show up. Everybody on this side wants ancient Babylon for their caliphate.
You know, before we go any further, I have rarely heard anything like this on television in my life. But the accusation, well, let me just ask our guests. Eric, what is he saying about the decision by our bombing fleet, our bombers, those that are directed to the civilians who control our military under both Bushes, President Bush, Herbert Walker, and then, of course, George W. Bush, that they somehow decided as part of some global caliphate they were envisioning and hoping to move along, they told our bombing people when they put these sorties together, don't hit ancient Babylon because that's going to be the center of evil. Right. The power is going to be the seat right there of power of a global evil empire. Are the Bushes involved? What in hell is this man talking about? Your thoughts, wide open question.
Well, that seems to be one of the hurdles. He's now rewriting history backwards, and now he's sort of dragging the Bushes into it with previous wars in the territory. Look, I mean, Glenn Beck has, for years now at Fox, he's dug himself this sort of conspiratorial hole, and he's just going to keep digging. I mean, regardless. And so
You're
now,
so smart. You're so smart because people who believe in these grand conspiracies, they'll end up saying it wasn't just the Dallas police, and it wasn't just the CIA, and it wasn't just the FBI, and it wasn't just Nixon and Johnson. It was the Irish mafia bound Kennedy. Everybody was involved. The Secret Service. Because once you start going into this conspiratorial mind, you have to come up with an explanation why somebody didn't catch somebody.
And so now
the reason they didn't catch him is because they're in on it.
And so now, miraculously, every piece of breaking news fits perfectly into his grand plan. I mean, he wasn't talking about Egypt 2 months ago, but if you listen to him now, of course it makes perfect sense, because he was warning about this leftist Islamist revolution. It's not just going to happen in America now, it's apparently going to spread worldwide. So,
okay. Gene, I want to give you another piece of cake from this. Strange cake, in fact. Yeah. Now, here's the story, just as a setup to this, so we all remember, so we don't forget piece by piece what Beck is building here. Beck has, for a while now, said the president is a socialist and a communist. That's very important to understand who he's, because there's no more Comintern in the world right now. Right. And socialists had a lot to do, they were part of the modern Israel. A lot of the Labor Party, of course, all the heroes were socialists. But he has this strange new theory now. Socialists, who identifies with the president, communists, who identifies with our president, are the ones behind all this. Here he is. They're behind the trouble in Egypt. Here he is on the radio today talking about the caliphate and the socialists and communists, who are, of course, the Obama people, working together with extreme Islam. Let's listen to this latest.
I want the left to know I plant my flag in this soil. Groups from the hardcore socialist and communist left and extreme Islam will work together because they are both a common enemy of Israel and the Jew. Islam wants a caliphate. Communists want a communist New World Order. They'll work together, and they'll destabilize because they both want chaos.
Gene Robinson.
This makes absolutely no sense on any level. It makes no
Where
sense
is this
on
Communist
any
Party meeting
level.
these days?
Well, don't you know how the communists and the Islamists have always worked together, except the fact that they're always trying to kill each other?
You know who hates it? You know who hates the socialists the most? The communists.
Yes.
Doesn't this guy have any sense of history? And socialists were a big part of building the modern Israel. What is he talking about?
This is the kind of stuff normally you prescribe medication. No, I'm serious. And normally it does nobody any good. You know, Glenn Beck says this, he says that, he says this crazy.
Well, why is he saying it now?
Well,
is this to get Obama some new way?
Well, here's what bothers me. I think, frankly, it is a case that he has dug the conspiracy hole so deep that he just has to keep digging. But here's what upsets me about it: is watch those pictures from Cairo, and it makes you anxious. It causes anxiety among a lot of people because, and why not? These are anxious times. And so here's this guy who is just compounding people's anxiety with these loopy conspiratorial theories. And I just think it's if you have that sort of platform, you have that sort of megaphone that he has, that you have, that I have with the column. There's a certain responsibility that comes with that, and if you don't recognize that, you're just a jerk.
Well, Eric, you guys have been studying this guy for a long time. Before we move on to Frank Gaffney, another guy who's getting into the full moon category, what is he trying to do? Is there a logic here? Is it just as Gene suggests, he's just gotten deeper and deeper? You've said this. Is it just you get so far into these conspiracy theories and blaming everything anything left of center that's evil in the world, you blame everything on them, and you tie it all together with Barack Obama's a socialist, he's a communist, he's in with the Muslim Brotherhood. They're all working together against you. That's paranoid talk. That is paranoid talk, definitionally. Your thoughts.
And so, as Gene was saying, the underlying fear is what you see in Cairo is coming to the States. Beck has been talking about the coming insurrection, and it's coming from the left. And now we're being told that it's going to look like Cairo. And so this is just part of the conspiracy. And frankly, I think it's basically a programming. It's a rating shtick for Beck. I mean, Beck is at heart a radio guy. He came up in radio. They are haunted by the idea of falling ratings. January was his worst ratings month ever at Fox News. He always needs a shtick. And so Egypt is the new one. The Caliphate is the new one. And if you look at the numbers, the people are even some of his viewers are saying, okay, wait, can you explain this again? Where are we going with all of this stuff? Where is this going?
Well, it goes to the unitary theory, which really most crazy people go. They want one simple theory of everything that scares them.